Another big spending department is education. But not only has spending per school pupil in the UK not yet recovered to where it was before that last round of austerity in 2010, but in secondary schools, the Institute for Government estimates a major and growing shortfall in the number of teachers being recruited relative to the demand for them, a gap of almost a third, in fact. What about policing and the Home Office budget? Experts say financial strains on the police are at least partially in evidence from the number of crimes being recorded that result in charges, now down to below 6%. As for the courts, the backlog of cases in the Crown Court is estimated to be at record levels, more than 80,000. And the pressure on the prison service is also in abundant evidence. There's been a collapse in the number of prisoners starting accredited education programmes, down from 20,000 a decade ago to just 744 last year. The performance of public services isn't always purely about money, and public finance experts say there were inefficiencies in 2010 after many years of spending rises before that. But when these experts look today, they see a very different picture.
We've long passed the point where there are easy efficiencies to be found and easy fat to cut. We're actually in a position where many public services are in crisis and most are performing much worse than they have done previously, and in many cases than what the public expects.
Meanwhile, of course, the demand for spending on defence rises, fuelled in part by the shock of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Rather than salami slicing public services, is there a case for just looking at stopping doing whole sections of public spending?
If you look at other countries, there are countries that can spend less, for example, by requiring more healthcare to be paid for privately rather than publicly. Now, that's not necessarily the right answer. It's not necessarily a better system, but I think what's necessary is to have that grown-up conversation that confronts the trade-off, and can we have that more serious discussion about what is the scope of public services if we're keen to have taxes that are lower.